Welcome back to Amazing Life. This is part 2 of the Section 5 episode, where in the last episode we camped at Frye Lake after visiting the Sinks Canyon State Park. Now we continue on Section 5, where along the way we find an outstanding camp spot overlooking historic South Pass City and take a tour of the city to get a feel for what it was like to live back in the Gold Rush days. Thanks for coming along on our journey. So it looks like we've gotten to looks like a crest of the mountain, because now we're going back downhill, and as that sign said, we reached 9578. That's pretty cool. But here's something I think is even more peculiar, is my iPad was reading like 9578 or something. It was like a few feet off. My Garmin historically has been reading, like this whole trip has been reading about 200 something feet off. So it was reading 9,300 and something when this was reading 95, and I was like, surely the Garmin's more accurate, because you know that's what they do. I guess not. So I don't know. I'm not sure what. Maybe there's a calibration method that I need to do on the Garmin to kind of get it to more accurate, but that's kind of weird. So.
Can you imagine that mountain covered in snow? It's like
So this is Lewis Lake. This is the third lake on this particular mountain, and so we were staying at Frye Lake, and then we just passed Fiddler Lake, and then now this is Lewis Lake. So all of them are just beautiful, and there are little places to jut off and camp just on the side, just right on the water too. So if you have your fishing pole and you enjoy that, it might be an option. We're gonna keep on rolling and making good time. This is pretty easy travel. It's really smooth roads, but it's really pretty. There's no need to air down. Still questioning that air down. Oh. gotten to the gate here, and we're going to go past, and this is South Pass City up ahead. But I thought this was neat. So this whole area is actually a cross-country ski area. So how fun would it be to, what you just saw, to cross-country ski through that? I think that's really cool. And off we go. It's like those snowdrift barriers kind of need to be repaired.
It's Thursday.
So wish I could have filmed this, but I didn't get permission, so I didn't. While we were taking a look at the mines, we had a legit gold miner stop, and he got out and started talking to us, and then he proceeded to show me a gold piece, a 1 ounce round that he had mined from his mine, minted by him or by his family, and it was absolutely stunning. So,
and his daughter designed.
And his daughter designed the logo for the gold piece, or for the mint. And so it's one of those things. If you've never held a 1 ounce gold round, it's just absolutely. It's so heavy to be so small. So cool, because it's almost like half the size of a silver dollar or a silver round. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to show you the round or the discussion that we had with him. It was very interesting that in the mine that is now owned by the state, he said it's a bit of an atrocity because that mine was still mining a lot of gold out of that when they shut it down, and so they were only 400 foot down, and there's no telling how many ounces of gold left in that mine back there that's now not gonna be accessed because it's owned by the state, and the state's not doing anything with it. So it's kind of sad from a standpoint of wasting resources, in my opinion, but that's just the way it goes with the states sometimes. So we just found a little offshoot. We just left Atlantic City, and the restaurant, unfortunately, the Grub Miner restaurant had already closed, and so now we're just trying to find a little place that we can camp for the night. And we'd like to do it close to South Pass City because we want to check that out a little bit more tomorrow. So this is just BLM land out in here, so we're gonna see if we can find somewhere to camp. Nice sunrise. Craig, this may have been the adventure you were looking for. We wish you were still with us. I think this will work. morning. Well, we've just enjoyed a fantastic sunrise up here just above South Pass City, which is right down the way down there. This turned out to be just a beautiful find. BLM land just right off of the main road between Atlantic City and South Pass City. So anyway, we're kind of getting ready for our next part of this. I think we're going to go down to South Pass City and check out one of the tours down there of the old kind of ghost town type setting, of the old buildings and stuff that they've got set up down there. And then we'll carry on from there on. So, but what we did realize is there's no diesel between here and Alcoa. Alcova. And while we technically have enough, I think I'm registering like 180 miles, something like that. The nearest Alcova is like 146 miles, and of course you tack on going slow, 4-wheel drive, blah blah blah. Could be a little worse than that. So I did bring 5-gallon jerry can of diesel with me, so I'm gonna go ahead and put that in, and that way we'll just kind of assure that we have plenty of fuel. So here we go. So we saw a track that led down to South Pass City, and it was a lot shorter than the track that we got in on. So we were just going to take that into South Pass City, and it was going great until we got to the bottom and realized that it actually took us straight into the historical monument area that they have blocked off for tours and stuff like that. So they had a gate on it like right before we got out, and so I droned up ahead before we went through that really tight area to make sure that we could actually get through. And by looking at the drone, I was able to fly up to the gate and realize that that the lock was actually, it's a padlock, so obviously they don't want us going that direction. So had turned around, and now we're heading back the way out the way we came in,
which is very bumpy.
Which is very bumpy, especially with highway pressure. So anyway, we're making our way back now, and South Pass City is next.
Yep, see you there.
Upon arrival at South Pass City, you'll find yourself in what was known as the Dance Hall, now Information Center. They collect your money, providing you with a booklet containing all the details of the buildings that you'll encounter on the self-guided walk. South Pass City was born in the summer of 1867. Like most other western boom towns, people came from all over to find their fortune in gold, or perhaps in the ancillary services needed to support the mining work, such as the exchange, where they offered general store type items for purchase. The Carissa mine provided work for many workers, but conditions were not that easy on the miners. Typically they were provided 1 candle per day for light, and their lunch consisted of very meager calories, such as a pickle, a chicken wing, and a piece of bread to get them through the day. No western town would be complete without the obligatory saloon, where patrons would come in after a hard day's work and let loose, spending their wages on drink and gambling until it was time to go to bed and start it all over the next day. Of course, with a saloon and rowdy patrons came the need for a jail. The guard likely sat in this first section as visitors would come and see the residents. The second section of the jail was used as the day area, where prisoners would be given access to a little bit more fresher air versus that tight individual cell which had no outside windows. Life in these days was built around survival, not necessarily fashion. They utilized root cellars to keep food over the winter, and newspapers were used as wallpaper. Residents of South Pass did what they needed to do to survive the harsh winters and difficult life in the 1800s. The local newspaper and telegraph station was there to record the news and inform the public of local and national happenings. One likely headline was when South Pass City found itself in the center of national debate regarding women's rights. When the dust settled, women could vote, and Miss Esther Morris was elected as the first woman to hold public office in the United States. She served as Justice of the Peace for 9 months until moving away in 1870. I hope you've enjoyed this short tour of South Pass City. We certainly did. From there, we were off to Atlantic City in hopes of finishing Section 5 and eating at the infamous Miner's Grub Steak.
Well, it looks delicious, and I'm really hungry.
Oh, that looks fantastic. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Do you guys need anything else?
I think we're
I
good.
think this is
Okay.
it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Burger's not for the faint of heart. That is good. The grub steak.
Miner's grub steak.
Miner's Grub Steak. Literally the only restaurant in town that you can trust the hours on. I believe the Mercantile also offers food Friday through Sunday. But I'm told that their hours are kind of hit and miss. They basically serve when they want to. So basically, if you miss getting here in time for the grub steak, which they close at 7, which is pretty early. But if you miss it at 7, don't expect to get food because they've put it up and it's done. So you got to operate under their rules. So anyway, if you do get here in time, it is fantastic food. Well, that was a fantastic lunch. I'm stuffed.
I am totally stuffed, and I was sad that they sold out of pie, but now it doesn't matter.
Probably not.
Cool.
It's probably a good thing that they did not have fresh, from scratch pie, and it's the bikers who ate it all. I just want to make a note of that.
No, it was us being late.
Okay, well,
But she did say it was the bikers.
she said it was the bikers, so I'm going with that one. But the food was fantastic. I highly recommend the sweet jalapeno barbecue sauce. That was amazing.
And I just had the regular bacon cheese.
The bacon was really good.
The bacon was fantastic,
Yeah.
but the burger itself was huge for me. I mean, it was a
It was a good
big-
sized burger.
So anyway, it was delicious.
So that's the end of this episode. We are just about, we're finishing section 5.
I didn't realize just how much of interest there was down
Yeah.
on the side. So
So I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed what we reported and provided to you about South Pass City. I find all this mining stuff fascinating, and so I thought it was a really cool thing. So I hope you did as well.
yeah,
So that's it for now. Until we're now getting on section 4, and so stay tuned for that.
yeah.
And until next time, as always,
Make
make
life
life amazing.